Hi, it's Nicole with Know It's Crochet and another Crochet Swatch Saturday and review. Today we're going to be talking about the Knit Picks We Crochet Visions. Now, isn't this some absolutely luscious yarn? Now, these are two different colors. This is the Waterloo Sunset, and this is the Summer Breeze. So these are longer transitions, and so we're probably not going to see the entire transition in these swatches that we're going to do, but they're absolutely a lovely blend of cotton and viscose. So I want to see how they work up overall and how they score. What do you think? What are they going to score? Put your guesses down below. I'm going to guess... I'm going to guess that this is going to score a 3.8. We'll give it a 3.8. Let's see how close we are. I mean, I like cotton. I think it's, we'll see. We'll see how close we get on this. Now you put your score down below and we'll hop on over to the table. Here we are with the Knit Picks / We Crochet Visions. This is a sport weight yarn, and we've got Summer Breeze and Waterloo Sunset, so you can kind of see the different colors. They're similar, although the Waterloo Sunset does not have the blue, the teal kind of watery color in it. And this has inside, you can kind of see there's a little bit more purple in this on the inside section of it. So we're going to be working up the Waterloo Sunset today. And if you remember, we gave this our best guess as a 3.8. And let's see how good we did. Is that going to be close? I don't know. We'll have to see how we did overall. Okay, so let's pull a little bit of this off. Now this is a long color change, and it's a gradual color change. So you're not going to get that abrupt sort of color. It's more of a fade, which I really like, but at the same time, we're not going to see the color change on our swatch. It's too far along. So this works great for things like shawls or, things that you want, scarves that are going to have that longer color change in them overall. I think it also makes lovely garments for that reason. I like the kind of effect of almost an ombre kind of look to it. And I have decided we're going to do 20 stitches because that's what I'm doing now on my double crochets that I've been doing sort of off screen just to kind of test these. Now, if you're not familiar with viscose, hello, let's work in here. If you're not familiar with viscose, viscose is a rayon very similar to bamboo. So you could actually consider this a cotton bamboo blend. And for that reason, we might get some splittiness on this as we're working through it. Boy, this initial chain is a little crooked because I've actually swatched something with it. So it's being a little temperamental for me, but we'll get through it. And I am using a 4.5 millimeter hook. Now the recommended hook size on this is anywhere from a 3.75 all the way up to a 6. I think a 6 is kind of big. I don't think that, I like a little bit tighter of a stitch. I don't like the big loosey flowy kind of patterns, so I went with a 4.5. I try and go right in the middle, but I also want to do something that makes sense to me for the weight of the yarn. And I can't imagine doing a sport weight yarn with a 6 millimeter crochet hook. Can you? Is that something you do? I don't know. It all depends on the pattern for sure. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, let's go ahead and pull out our size checker and see whether or not this is a true sport weight yarn. I would say that is pretty spot on, maybe almost down to a fingering. It's on the lower end of the sport, but I still think I'm going to give that the sport. I do think this is a sport weight. Now, there are not a lot of color options in this. I think it's more of a kind of almost a specialty yarn. It is still available. It is on the pricier side, but they do sometimes offer it on their 246 sales. So while it is normally $13.99 a skein, I get it on the 246 for $6. So that brought the price considerably down and made it actually reasonable and affordable. Now, that being said, I've already priced it out. It's still in the affordable range, so that's a little secret there, a little hint. But, you know, it's down into the ultra budget if you can get it on sale. So, yeah, there's that. That's what we're going for, right? Oof. All right, tangly. Like I said, I already did a swatch with this for something else, so I kind of frogged that swatch. It's okay. It's all good. We're working with it. And I did do the double crochet. If you haven't been watching some of these videos, I recently had a neck ablation done because I get migraines of a certain type, cervicogenic migraines, and I'm hoping that the ablation sort of helps with those. Now, this is not an opportunity to say, hey, give me all of your migraine recommendations, because I've suffered from migraines for 40 years and I probably could write the book on migraine treatment. But it is to share that I had that procedure done recently and I am trying to batch these, so I'm trying to push through even though I'm still having a lot of pain from those. And so I've been doing my double crochet swatches on the side when I can sit on a nice comfy couch and not have to try and sit up at my table, which takes a little bit more effort on my neck. So that is already done, and we're going to skip through the montage music portion of that. And once I get this done, I will share that with you so that you can see what that looks like. Now let's talk about ratings and reviews. As I said, this is not a very popular yarn. Now you can see, I'm going to show you, there is some color bleed on this, and I have noticed that on my double crochet swatch as well. So as the color changed in the pattern, it started to sort of bleed into some of the other colors. That might not be something that you are desiring. I don't think that it's very noticeable when you're not working on the project, but on these brighter colors, you're definitely gonna pick up just a hint here and there of that color bleed. So I'm probably gonna mark it down 1 just for that, because we always want to be aware of that. Ratings and reviews. There were not a lot for sure. There were 43 Ravelry projects using this yarn, and I gotta say, they were all very lovely because of the way that this yarn works up and the color changing effect of it, or not color changing, but, you know, sort of ombre phasing kind of effect of it. What the heck do they call that? I can't think of it in the moment. Of those 43 projects, 20 of them were crochet. So it is definitely crochet worthy yarn and has been used for that purpose. That is my 4, right? Yes, I don't know why that's so hard for me to keep track. Okay, where'd my, oh, my scissors are over here. And it rated a 4.8, but it only had 4 reviews on Ravelry. And on Knitpicks, it also had 5 reviews, and it rated a 4. So it's definitely a liked yarn, and that is always a good thing. So let's see here. We've got our single crochet. I will bring out our double crochet, and you can see, like, here are some of those color changes starting to bleed in just a little bit here and there. If I didn't point them out, you probably really wouldn't notice it. Here's a little bit of the pink kind of bleeding in. So if you're trying to do something that's like award-winning, astounding kind of results, you might not want to use this yarn for that. Okay, I just did just a smidge little extra because I forgot. I tied these off and trimmed them, and then I forgot, oh my gosh, we have to do the frog test. Ugh, yes. Okay, anyway, let's see here. We guess this is going to get a 3.8. We are using a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. Weight listed as a sport, and I would say that's true. Fiber is a cotton viscose blend, which is a really nice sort of blend of a softer cotton, and I would say it's a higher end synthetic. So we're going to give this a 4. On the feel, this is actually, I can honestly say, very rarely do I feel like the way the yarn feels in the skein compares to how it feels once it's worked up. And this is a really fairly true comparison. This feels very similar. It is just as soft once worked up as it is on the skein. And I think that's because that viscose is kind of like a bamboo-ish. I mean, it might not be viscose from bamboo, but it gives a similar sort of vibe to that. And so it is very pleasant for sure. I would say that this is comfy cozy a 4. All right, we really fell off the wagon on the color range. There are 5 shades, and 2 of them are right here. So 5 shades of the Visions. That is a less than 10, so we only get 1 on that. Wow, okay, that was bad. Splitting, you know, between the 2 of these, I got like a half a split. There was almost one spot where I got a little niggling. I'm going to take a half point off for that because I don't feel like it was, I mean, it certainly looks like it could be a splitty yarn, but it does not perform like one. So I'm going to give it a 4.5. Stitch definition. I think this is lovely. I think you could not get a crisper, cleaner stitch definition. Absolutely lovely for cables, although I don't know that the blend on it would be favorable for cables. I think that, you know, detailed, like if you wanted to do amigurumi with this, I think it would look really cute and it would make an interesting amigurumi if you used more of the color. So we are going to say on that, it is a 5. Drape. All right, let's test this out. Now this is a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, all right. It's got a little bit of fluidity there. I mean, it's got a little tenting, but not too much. This is actually very drapey. This one here feels great. It feels amazing. I love it. So for the drape, with this being what it is, you know what? I'm gonna give it a 4.5. And I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because I could go up to a larger crochet size and get more drape than it does, but I think it's pretty reasonable as it is. All right, let's test the frog on this. Oh, that is a 5 all day long. Easy peasy. Okay, now here's where we're going to lose some more points. This is machine washable on cold, and I would think that this might have, the coloring might have some of the reason for that, but also because there's cotton in there, and it is a lay flat to dry. So that puts it in the handle with care and drops it to a 3. Now the price, as I did mention, $13.99. So price per yard on this comes out to 5 cents. So that puts it in the affordable. And again, if you get it on sale, it's really close to that ultra budget, but it's not there. So, all right, warnings and concerns, just a -1 for that bleeding. But I mean, these are stunning colors. They're very lovely. So let's do the math on this and see how close we got. I might have been under on my guess now. All right, so we got 34 there, which comes out to 3.7777. Do I get to round that up to a 3.8? I think I'm going to round that up to a 3.8. And ding, 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 I am right on the nose. Okay, really close to right on the nose. Let me know how you did in the comments. How close were you? Would you have scored this different? For sure, I want to know. And if you're enjoying these reviews, make sure you check out the Buy Me a Coffee opportunity. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen, or the link is in the notes below. And you can help me out with as little as $5 a month, or just a one-time $5 donation. And that will buy another skein to do our Crochet Swatch Saturday. So, my final assessment here, would I use this yarn? Again, 100% I would. Obviously, you have to have the right project for these colors. You have to be inspired by them because the colorways are limited to very summery colors. But if that's a colorway that you like, then this is a really nice yarn to use. I'm looking forward to making something with it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we will see you next week on another Crochet Swatch Saturday. Farrah, frog us out of here.